This podcast is brought to you in part by Academy Travel at MickeyVacations.com. Academy Travel is the official travel sponsor of the Pirates and Princesses podcast, and we can't recommend them enough. Go to MickeyVacations.com/PNP. That's MickeyVacations.com/PNP to get started on your next Disney Dream Vacation today. And now on with the show. Trip report time. We just got back from the Walt Disney World Resort, and we're going to give you a trip report about the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival, so please stick around.
A pirate's life for me.
Oh, hello there. So glad you could come along. I put a spell on you.
Grid is live. Initiate light cycle battle.
Welcome, foolish mortals.
For a safe trip, remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the cabin. Be sure to watch your children, and no smoking, please.
Welcome to the Pirates and Princesses podcast.
We're a different kind of Disney podcast. We do it our way.
We talk about Disney parks, Disney movies, TV, video games.
Anything Disney.
I'm your host, Thom Pratt.
And I'm your other host, Kam Pratt.
Welcome back to Pirates and Princesses. I'm your host, Thom Pratt, and I'm joined by my lovely wife,
Kam Pratt.
who knows her own name this week.
I do. I'm well trained.
Okay, so we just got back from Disney World again. We actually took two trips within a 30-day window, which actually threw off our fast passes and everything else. That's a whole other story. But we're going to give our impressions of the Epcot Flower and Garden International. The Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival 2018, and also what it's like going to Disney in early March.
Short answer: don't go.
Don't. Okay, so this year's Flower and Garden Festival was sufficiently flowery and gardeny.
It was very pretty.
Yeah, it was very pretty. It's always pretty. I think it's hands down my favorite Epcot festival. And the food kiosks were good, and the flowers were pretty.
Topiaries are awesome as always.
Topiaries are awesome, but that's not really what we're going to talk about, is it? We're going to talk about whether or not it's a good idea to go to Disney in early March.
Well, first of all, it's always a good idea to go to the Flower and Garden Festival.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't go early
first
March.
week. Yeah,
first couple weeks for Flower and Garden Festival because, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was insanely busy. I mean,
we're talking wait times of 45 minutes for Nemo and Friends.
Yeah.
45 minutes for Journey to Imagination. The wait time for Spaceship Earth was sometimes as long as, or longer than, Frozen.
Yeah, I know,
and Test Track, Soarin'. It was longer than
Soarin', yeah. It was like hour-long wait time for Spaceship Earth.
And then Frozen was like 50 minutes.
Yeah, so here's an issue I've had, and I've mentioned it before, I think, on the podcast. I know I mentioned on the Kingdom Insider, at thekingdominsider.com. That's a blog we run. But the crowd calendars, right? Everybody goes by these stupid crowd calendars, and I don't think they're accurate. I don't think they're accurate.
Creating crowds.
I think they actually create crowds because everybody's like, oh, look, early March is very light crowds. We're all going to book our trip for early March. And then you actually have really heavy crowds because everybody's going thinking
We've gone down in summer, every month in summer, and the crowds were nowhere near as bad as this. We've gone pretty much
times.
The only time we have not gone at Disney, and I think you would find the crowds be worse, would be at Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah, the week of Christmas. And
the rest of the time we've been down there, and it wasn't as bad as this. But Christmas and New Year's I would still avoid. I think it's going to be actually worse on those days.
Yeah, but this was definitely, I would say, if you're grading it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say this week was definitely an 8.
An 8.
Yeah,
that sounds about right. 7 or 8.
Because it was wall-to-wall people. And I know our travel sponsor, we met up with Lisa from Academy Travel.
MickeyVacations.com.
MickeyVacations.com.
They're the best.
Yeah, on the first day we were there, and she said that they were waiting like 40 minutes for a Dole Whip.
Yeah, she said that. She said they waited 40 minutes to get a Dole Whip.
I
can't express to you how I wish I could put a way to actually express to you, other than looking at pictures we're posting. Because if you go to the Kingdom Insider on Facebook, you can see photos we posted of crowds.
Yeah, people mover. The line was out past the whatever the.
Oh my gosh! Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. There's a reason why I think that line was so bad. But we went to the first day. We went to Epcot, And we got there very early, thank goodness. So we were able to run over to Test Track and run over to Soarin', and we got on those pretty quickly. Then we thought, well, we're over here. Why don't we just go over to Nemo? And 45 minutes.
Yeah, it said it was a 20-minute wait. We're like, well, 20 minutes isn't too bad. We'll,
It ended up being like 30.
This happened multiple times throughout the trip where they gave us a short wait time when we got in line, and then like halfway through the wait, it's like, oh yeah, it's double or triple what we told you.
My daughter and I in the one morning went to Space Mountain. And when we got in line, it said 20 minutes. And we're like, okay, 20 minutes, we can do that. I had to really pee at the time, like really pee. But I thought, well, 20 minutes, okay, we can do this. So we got in line. And if you've ever ridden that ride, after in line, you cannot get out of line. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no way to get out of line. So it ended up taking us an hour.
Yeah,
I was literally crying in line because it hurt so bad because I had to go to the bathroom.
I was holding Cam's cell phone. She actually put her cell phone in.
I thought I'd be gone 20 minutes. I said, well, I don't have my phone. It's 20 minutes.
Tristan and I rode the Astro Orbiter because we're trying to look for signs of construction for Tron. I didn't see anything there, but I did see on the monorail. That's a whole other story. But anyway, I had Cam's cell phone with me because she was going to be quick, we thought. And we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. And she's not coming. I'm like, oh, crap. You know, she got done and she's looking for us, and I have no way to text her or tell her what's going on. So we just hung around the area, and I'm like, the only explanation I have is something happened and she's still on the ride. So we just
in there, you can't get out.
Yeah, we just stood there waiting for her, and we it was like an hour. Yeah,
it was awful. I was in so much pain because I had to go so bad, and I was trying not to wet my pants. And I know I'm an adult, but I mean, it was bad. And people around me were all like, didn't it say 20 minutes when we came on here? Yeah. And didn't it say 20 minutes? This is not 20 minutes. It ended up taking over an hour. Now, I understand. Sometimes you get in line that says like 20 minutes, and you might wait 30, 35 minutes. You could expect like at least like 15 minutes more, 20 minutes maybe. But this is 40 minutes longer than the posted wait time. And I think the problem was, if you've been in the ride, they have 2 tracks that they set off on. And they were taking all the Fast Pass people and they were putting them on the one on the right. So they were sending everybody in standby to the other line. Knowing that it was backed up, they kept taking the one line and only letting Fast Pass on it. So instead of opening up and doing what they usually do, where they funnel Fast Pass through, funnel standby, funnel a bunch of Fast Pass through, funnel standby, which would have alleviated the problem, because it was so early they hadn't opened both lines up. And I think after we were already trapped, they opened their line up. But it was awful. And we were there an hour when it was posted 20 minutes.
Yeah, but that happened with us last year on Little Mermaid.
Yes.
We were at the same thing where they just kept leaving every, like, there could be
that
somebody.
That was different. That's because the old guy was, if anybody was walking in and they were like they are way down, he would hold the entire line to the one Fast Pass person to get on.
And they were like going around and around and around.
So now our kids refer to this as a code mermaid.
Code mermaid.
They refer to it as a code mermaid.
Meanwhile, in February, Cam and I literally walked onto the mermaid. Right.
Yes, and it was just insane. I cannot stress to you the amount of crowds. And like he said, but People Mover, the problem with that is the Carousel Progress has now become the stroller parking.
The stroller parking of Tomorrowland.
Because of that, it's funneling people in an odd way. So some guy actually yelled at me because I was trying to get onto the People Mover line at the entrance of the People Mover line. We were waiting for a break, and then there was a break, and we started to head in, and this whole group came out of nowhere and cut me off. And then he tried to tell me the line was way back there. And it wasn't way back there. That was stroller parking.
It's like, people, we are at Disney World all the time. We know where do you get on to the People Mover, okay? We ride it every time we're there, and we're there many times per year. So, don't tell us.
Yeah, no, it wasn't very nice. I was like, excuse me? And it was all because him and his whole group, like, there was a lot of them, because there was a lot of groups.
A lot of groups,
We saw a lot of dance groups, a lot of... there was a lot of like different conventions going on. There was a softball convention. We almost didn't get the flight down because they were overbooked.
That should have been our first indication. Okay, so we live near Pittsburgh, and so normally we get a flight out of a smaller airport called Latrobe, which is near Pittsburgh.
It's only like an hour and 20 minutes from our house.
Right, or the Pittsburgh International Airport. We couldn't get a flight in either.
We could come back. We couldn't leave.
We couldn't leave. So we had to book a flight in Ohio. We actually drove to Ohio, like almost 3 hours to catch a flight. And that should have been our first indication that it was. And then
it was overbooked, and they were trying to get people to volunteer to get up their seats, and which of course we couldn't do.
No, we had our kids
and
with us.
They ended up just selecting 2 people, and we were so worried they were going to pick us off the plane after we drove so far. We got there okay, but a lot of people were telling me about the different conventions they were going to. I know for sure it was a softball. I think there was a special needs event going on. There were some different ones that these people on the plane were telling us they were visiting. So there was a whole bunch of stuff going on. It was insane.
Now, I was down there...
spring break.
Yeah, well, that's it, because a lot of the schools, at least in the Pittsburgh area, moved spring break. It used to be in the middle of the month, and now it's like the first week of March.
Right. Spring break, I think, was the biggest part of it.
And the guys I sat next to on the plane on the way back were there for spring break, too. Mm-hmm. They were in Daytona.
Words cannot express the TSA line. We were in a line to get into the line to get into the TSA line.
There was literally a line. They actually had a line at pre-check, which normally doesn't have a line. You walk right in. So, I mean, it was just bonkers insane. And I personally, now we were down there too, we did a Toy Story preview event.
I'll let you talk about here in a bit.
We'll talk about that later. But unless we absolutely positively have to go to Walt Disney World the first week of March, I think at this point I would say avoid it like the plague.
Right.
It was horrible.
Well, I'm going to go through what we did, though. Back to positive things. It was still fun.
It was fun, but I'm just saying, like, if you don't want to deal with the crowds, do not go the first week of March.
Well, the first day we were down there, we did Epcot, like we mentioned. We did some of the rides in Future World, then we went over to the World Showcase, and we ate at Rose and Crown.
Yeah.
Which it's good. It wasn't as good as it used to be.
No,
But it was still good. I mean, we still recommend
Rose
and
Crown.
Crown.
I mean, it's still one of the better table services in World Showcase, but it's just, there's the wow factor wasn't quite.
It wasn't as good. The food wasn't as good as it used to be. But afterwards, we met our friends Lance and Lauren,
Mm-hmm.
and we walked around the World Showcase a little bit more. Tom almost got in trouble again because
I almost got thrown out.
That little walkway there by Chef de France,
which I'm completely fascinated with.
But to Morocco, at the very end, there's a cast members only sign, but it's only at the end. You're allowed to be in that area.
Right.
So Tom was standing in the area
on the sidewalk before
not any place he wasn't supposed to be. And they yelled at him and then followed us.
They came chasing out. They told me I had to delete my photos because I was trying to get we were on the live stream and I was trying to do a live stream for the Kingdom Insider.
Talking about here's where Ratatouille's going.
Right, you can see the fence down through the woods. You can see the fence.
He was like, look, you can see the fence.
Vehicles.
Here's where it's going.
And this cast member came out and he chased me away and he wanted me to delete the photo. I'm like, dude, it was live. I can't delete it.
And the thing is, he wasn't where he wasn't supposed to be.
No, I wasn't actually in the cast member area. There's a sidewalk. And it says at the end of it, cast members only, but that sidewalk doesn't have any kind of indication that you're not allowed to be there.
Yeah, just at the end where it goes into the cast member only area, which we want to do that. We can get back there. All we have to do is, get tour guides.
But they might be, for all we know, they might be chasing people away all the time.
But he followed us.
He followed us. Yeah,
so we headed down.
Morocco.
He followed us. Wow, because we went through Morocco and then we went to through America, and we went over to Japan because we were heading to Japan.
Right.
And he followed us most of the way. And then I was like, oh my gosh, we didn't do anything wrong.
No.
So we went to Japan because that's our kids' favorite country to visit. And we showed Lance and Lauren the Kawaii exhibit.
Yeah, they never seen. Well, they just moved. Yeah, they just moved down there in December, and they'd never been to any of the because some World Showcase especially. If you're not spending a lot of time in World Showcase, you don't go to all these little
which you should. There's a lot of cool hidden things. We should do that, country by country, hidden awesome stuff.
Yeah.
But we went down there. We went to the stores and they saw the exhibit, and then we told them about the pathway that you can walk from, which we talked about before, from the International Gateway in France. You go over the bridge like you're heading towards the UK, but instead of heading towards the UK, you turn left and go down to that little area down there where you can catch a friendship over to Hollywood, or there's a pathway where you can walk back to the Epcot hotels and that are on the boardwalk. And from there, you pass the Swan and Dolphin, and you can walk over to Hollywood. It's just like a 20-minute walk, 30 minutes maybe at the most. So we showed them how to get that way, and we got ourselves over to Hollywood, and then we spent the evening there.
Yeah, and it was nice. And again, the walkway for me, it was just like I need that break from the crowds.
Because it was very empty, and you could just walk along. It's quiet, it's peaceful. The friendships come by, you wave at them, they wave at you. And you just keep on walking. And when we got to Hollywood, that was one time. The wait time was interestingly nice in our favor because it said 45 minutes for Star Tours, and it was actually a walk-on.
It was a walk-on, yeah. So I don't understand. I'm still trying to figure out
Well,
how
they had the Jedi, the temple, the Jedi, the little.
I think everybody got
I think they go by magic bands and stuff in the
how
area.
Many people are in the area.
And I think that it showed that there were a whole bunch of people at Star Tours, but it was right next to it. I'm wondering if that happened.
Now,
I don't know.
It's so weird because Star Tours usually is a walk-on at Hollywood Studios. Disneyland, it's like majorly e-ticket. Like it's so you wait so long to get on Star Tours.
Yeah, and usually it's a walk on it at Disney at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
So we actually walked in, thought we were going to be waiting quite a while, and we just walked on. So we're like, we'll wait. We have time to kill, and we walked in and walked on that. We went to Indiana Jones, and this is all these videos are available on the Kingdom Insider
Facebook page.
Yeah, so we did the Indiana Jones, and we went over to the launch bay, and the kids got the little name tags in Arabish. And it was really chill.
Yeah, it was a pretty chill day. I mean, once we got to Hollywood Studios, things were much better. But it was just we were not prepared for. I mean, I was there last year with your parents. I actually took your parents down, and we're doing some stuff for the Kingdom Insider. We had the Golden Grandmas down there. They were in the Disneyland commercial, and we were there the exact same week. And it was busy, but it was not as busy as it was this year.
Yeah,
so
my mom kept saying bad it was, and you said it was
going
worse,
on.
and she's like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
But we also went to the ABC commissary because you wanted to get the Wrinkle in Time cupcake.
Don't.
Which is not good.
Don't.
It's pretty.
If you like Lysol, and you like to drink Lysol, imagine putting some Lysol in your cupcake and
some people might like it. I just don't like lemon.
But it's fakey lemon. It's not even like
I like lemon stuff in moderation. Like I like lemon, but I don't like lemon on top of lemon on top of lemon.
Does Oprah like lemon or something? Is that why they went with lemon for Wrinkle in Time? Is there some
it's
reason?
pink lemonade cupcake with lemon buttercream frosting, and it's
lemon.
It's very well. It's not just that; it is very fake lemon.
It's fake. It tastes like Lysol.
They were
gross.
I mean, I wouldn't go as far as Lysol, but the only one who liked it was our daughter.
It's because it had sugar in it. Yeah,
so it's sugar. She'll eat it.
It was pink and it had sugar in it.
She's like, yes.
Not what I anticipated, but everybody's like, oh yeah, Wrinkle in Time cupcakes, and they had a bunch of them at. Where the one Starbucks they could give them away.
Well, they had the Starbucks had them too in Hollywood, so you can find the Wrinkle in Time, aka Lysol cupcake in Hollywood Studios. Cupcake. And then the next day it was Tom's birthday, and we were at Magic Kingdom, and you got the stage show in the morning, the opening show.
Yes, we got really good seats.
You got right in front.
Yeah,
so that video was also on the Kingdom Insider.
Yeah, you got some really good photos of that too.
And we took off then. We headed for Splash Mountain and Thunder Mountain, which was a great plan.
Yeah, normally that would be the thing to do, but
except Splash Mountain and Thunder Mountain were both down. So we waited anyway.
At the same time.
We waited anyway, and Splash Mountain did open within a half an hour.
Yeah.
That's our daughter's favorite ride ever, which I also live streamed Splash Mountain. So I have actually a ride through live stream Splash Mountain on the Kingdom Insider.
Yeah, Smash Mountain. Last time,
if you had just let me hold your phone like I wanted to, it wouldn't have gotten broken.
So last year, last June, we rode Splash Mountain, and Cam wanted to live stream it, and I'm like, no, I'm afraid we're going to drop my phone in the water, and that's going to be it, and my phone's going to be destroyed. So we get through the ride, and I go to grab my phone to see what our next Fast Pass is, and guess what? My phone is completely smashed from the lap bar in Splash Mountain.
Yeah, well, because your phone's like really big. And
yeah, I've got one of those like
so it is now like our code mermaid that'll forever go down as Smash Mountain.
Smash Mountain.
So, but meantime, Tom and Tristan are still waiting for Thunder Mountain, and the guy told us, he said, guys, don't bother waiting. You're going to be here all day. Mm-hmm. So we thought, okay, we'll run over to Fantasyland, and the line for Small World was already 20
yeah, I know,
minutes.
Right? It was crazy. It was outside the building.
Quick. That was less
time.
Yeah,
but it was outside the building. We got there.
Yeah. And then, so we did that, and then we were going to do Haunted Mansion, but that was already in an hour, I think. Mm-hmm. And so we decided we went over to Carousel Progress. That's when we had the issue with the people mover and them yelling at me about line, and we did some stuff there. It was crazy. We went to the Plaza.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not big fans of the Plaza.
Everybody's like, you gotta do the Plaza. The reservations are so hard to get. I'm like, the only reason the reservations are hard to get is because it's so small. Now, it was pretty cool. Chief Smokey came in.
I was gonna say the fire chief came in.
Yeah, Chief Smokey came in and he gave a
honorary mayor.
To a little boy. I think his name was Noah, and which is really sad because I think they did that because
they have a new mayor.
Passed away.
I think they have a new one. They mentioned him in the intro.
Oh, maybe he did. I don't know.
But. Yeah, so Noah's like literally like what 3, 4 maybe?
Yeah,
3. I'm thinking 3 or 4, and they give him a golden fast pass.
Like whatever he wants to do in the Magic Kingdom that day, he gets to do it. Of all the rides, he said he wanted to do the People Mover, and Chief Smokey's like, you might want to try like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or something.
Maybe you take your family on that one or something.
Yeah,
so this little kid,
yeah.
he was like so excited because he got the golden ticket to ride People Mover.
To ride a People Mover.
It was so cute though. He was adorable.
But the food was gross.
And the food,
Sorry.
their meatloaf was their special.
Oh my god, it was so gross, and I felt so bad. I was like, I was going to be a sacrificial. I would have taken
it was your birthday. I wasn't gonna make you eat
taken it upon myself. I got the Reuben, which was okay. I mean, it wasn't great. But I was gonna take it upon myself to eat the disgusting meatloaf, just so you didn't have to.
I know, but it was your birthday. It wasn't gonna make you.
It's like,
we're trying to fight over who had to eat it.
Kenzo trying to choke it down like that old Ren Stimpy cartoon where he's trying to like eat the whatever.
It wasn't good, and I'm not.
So
and I usually
gross.
give the benefit of the doubt to anything Disney. Tom's usually a lot more harsh than I am, and it was bad. It was so bad. Don't get the meatloaf. Get the burgers. The burgers are okay.
Yeah, the burgers are okay, but it was basically just like a chunk of meat with no flavor. It didn't even have
Their desserts
salt.
were good though.
The desserts were good, but it was just like garlic powder and meat.
No, it was like hunks of vegetables in it, which is good. I like vegetables, but it wasn't good. It was one of those things that you pay for all day, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So we both paid for it. Even though Tom
good.
only had a couple bites, he still paid for it all day too. And I had a lot more than he did, so it was not very well the rest of the day.
Yeah, it comes with a bathroom fast pass.
But I was like,
instead of the dining package, see the fireworks, you get fast pass to go to the bathroom.
So it wasn't. It was. We were like,
service
yay,
wasn't
yay!
great.
We're here. It's
Either.
magic. It's
Service
magic. We're
wasn't.
gonna keep going. Yeah,
Yeah,
the service
I
was
know.
weird. I mean, we were there. We were like
kept
one of the first
disappearing.
people
He kept
in the restaurant, and all these people came in after us. Like, I mean, we were one of the first ones. I think there was two other tables when we got there, and everyone around us all had their food, and we're still sitting there waiting. I don't know where he went. I couldn't even understand him half the time either. But
well, yeah, but I think he was new. But anyway, I mean, because everybody talked about how great the plaza was, and we've been trying for years.
I'm sure their desserts are amazing. Their
Years
desserts
to
are
get-
great.
yeah.
The ice cream is
Oh yeah,
great.
the ice cream was fantastic. I have no complaints about the desserts.
The new
But
apple
that's what they're
dumpling is
known
great.
for, you know.
But,
It's an
yeah.
ice cream parlor with a little tiny restaurant. But
The restaurant, not so much.
we have been trying for years to get a reservation there because you can't because it's so tiny. And one just happened to open up, and I can honestly say I'm not going back anytime soon.
We would go to the
We'll
ice
get
cream
the ice
parlor,
cream parlor.
and I mean, I
but-
highly recommend that. Don't
Yeah.
not. I mean, always try that.
Yeah,
but
the ice cream was good.
Don't worry if you can't get reservations because it's not worth it.
You're not missing anything.
So after that, we had fast passes. So we were going to go ride. Well, we went to that day. We went to Little Mermaid. Yes, because we went to Little Mermaid.
because we're like we have to ride something
while we
and
wait for a
it's-
fast pass for Mine Train.
Oh,
so we
God.
went to. We'll
Yeah.
go there in a minute. So we went to during this time also Space Mountain went down a couple times throughout the day. So Thunder Mountain did not come back up until way later in the day, and then Space Mountain was down off and on throughout the day, mostly up on that one. So we go to Little Mermaid, and it says wait time is like 20 minutes again, and we're like, okay, well that's not too bad. And it was what 45 minutes easy,
Yeah,
50 minutes
again for
and we're
a
like,
subpar
okay.
ride. Yeah.
So we did it. We would never wait that long normally because it's not worth it. So we did Little Mermaid, and then we were like, okay, it's time for our fast passes for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So let's head over to Mine Train. You can talk about that.
So we head over to the mine train. We're like, hey, the cars have stopped. And there's some people stuck on the tracks. Maybe what's going on here? Oh, hey, they've been stuck there for a while. Guess what? Mine train broke down. So
And they had to evacuate people off the ride.
So we actually watched them evacuate people off the ride.
It's kind of neat how they do it. They lock it down. The cars
Yeah,
down.
because the cars swing, so they go get this crowbar, and they have them on hand. They just pull them out of one of the boxes. It looks like a dwarf, like a dynamite box or something. They pull these.
it's like a T, like looking like.
Yeah, it's like a bar, and
It's like a T.
They lock the cars in place, and they evacuate the people, and they told them, hey, you can't take pictures. We're going to
In the cast member areas, you can't.
And Mine Train was down the rest of the day, I think. And
Yes.
we lost our fast pass, so they gave us one of the experience passes, which are good for any ride.
That's the same level.
That's the same level, yeah. Like if you miss your
Or below. Like if you miss
Right.
if you miss something that's
like Astro Orbiter or something, you're not getting a Mine Train fast
right,
pass.
but if you miss like a mine train, you could use it for like
Mine
one of the
Train,
other coasters,
yeah.
or if you want to waste it on like Small World or something, you could.
Yeah.
So
Or the People Mover.
there's no fast pass for People
No,
Mover.
that's right, there isn't.
So it should have been though this week, but so we decided we'd go ride the Thunder Mountain. At that point came back up,
Yeah.
so we
we're
went over
like-
to Thunder Mountain, and our
Yeah.
son was thrilled.
Yeah,
so we wanted to
'cause
ride Thunder Mountain all day.
He was so upset. He's like, this is the only coaster I like, and
And
I can't ride it.
our daughter's even like Thunder Mountain's better than Mine Train
It
anyway.
is better than Mine Train.
Mine Train has the cool little animatronics
Right.
in it. They're cute and I like, but overall Thunder Mountain's a longer and better
Mine Train
ride.
is like a minute? I mean, it's a really short
It's really
coaster.
quick. It's very quick.
Yeah.
You wait a long time for not
Yeah.
much. So we went into Thunder Mountain, and then we had fast passes. So my daughter and I headed over to Space Mountain, and this is not the day I got stuck with the P. This is the one we had the fast pass for. But even with fast passes, we waited probably 30, 40 minutes. Tom went over to, and Tristan went over to Jungle Cruise. And then you were like, where are they? Because again, did I have my phone? I think you had my phone again.
I might have.
Because I couldn't take the bag on the ride, so you took it with you. And
yeah.
my phone kept getting stuck. I didn't have pockets, so my phone kept getting stuck in the bag. And we rode that. We waited a long time in a fast pass line. The line was horrible for Space Mountain.
Jungle Cruise was a long way too. And it's funny though because so we walked by Pirates to get the Jungle Cruise, and it's so sad. So Pirates is down, so they've got beanbag cornholes out, and people were sitting there playing cornholes with cast members dressed in pirate clothes. Because I'm like, yeah, that makes up for not having the ride.
Yeah. So during the day, let's recap. During the day, Pirates is gone. I mean, it's going to be back up like in another week or so. It's down right now, or a few days. Is it now? A few days?
19th, I think.
It's like in a week. So Pirates is down for refurbishment, and then Splash was down in the morning. I think it was down again in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. It was off and on. Thunder was down most of the day. It didn't go back up till evening. Then Space Mountain was down off and on that day, and then Mine Train broke down at the rest, and they said it was pretty much was going to be down the rest of the day. So all that one day, and then
one day, March 5th, the day that will live in. It was
your birthday. You broke it off.
It was seriously. We were talking.
And the crowds are bad to begin with.
The crowds are bad to begin with, and like all the e-ticket rides were broke at some point during the day.
And we've talked to several people, and I'm just like, if this is someone's first trip to Disney World, and they see these crowds and the prices and the wait times and how bad it is, I can see people not going back because they're so upset about it.
Right. There were some people that were just like, I mean, one dad, I mean, I would never go that far because we've been there so many times where it was fantastic.
Right. So we would tell people, no, don't go by this.
This isn't normal.
This is a
This
fluke.
is not a
Don't
normal
go by
day.
this.
But there was one dad with a couple of kids, and he was ranting on the phone. He's like, Disney needs to get their bleepity bleep together. I can't believe we paid this much to come here. And
because it's a lot for some people, especially if
if that was their first day ever in the Disney park, that would have been the worst possible day.
Yeah, and my son was even like, it's not even fun. And my mother talked to somebody that lives where we are, and they said that they won't go to Disney again because when they went, it was bad crowds, and they said it was too expensive, and they couldn't get on things. Yeah. And now new people don't know all the tricks either.
Right.
So you're not going to get on as much as someone like, us who have done it many times, or one of you guys who listen and know all the tricks. You're going to get to ride a lot more things than somebody else who hasn't done it might be able to.
Yeah.
So,
but our tricks did not work. It was
some of them did, some of them didn't.
The mine tricks didn't work because usually we go to like Frontierland first and hit that.
Well,
stuff.
It would have worked if things would have been running.
Right.
So,
but we lost like 3 or 4 hours.
We lost
in the morning.
a lot, a lot that day, and then the lines were too long. So we just decided, hey, you know what? We're tired. We're just gonna go back to the room. So we went back to the room, and we went to the buffet. And at the Caribbean Beach which was okay. I mean, it's
better than the Plaza.
Yeah, it was better than the Plaza. And then the next day, I'm trying to think, Wednesday, we were Tuesday. This is the day you had your event. Right. So we went to went somewhere.
We were in Epcot. We were in Hollywood. Did we go to Hollywood first? I don't remember. It all blurs together.
No, where did we go? We went somewhere in the morning, and then I think we stayed at Epcot all day. We came in later, and that was a mistake because they had to take Tom.
Oh, that's right.
To a cast member area.
Slept in. We actually made the mistake of like, hey, we're kind of tired. Let's sleep in a little bit. So the bag check was so awful on that Tuesday that they actually opened up a secondary bag check over behind, which might be the norm. We usually get there so early, we've never seen it before, but they opened it up behind the monorail station. And I took a picture of Spaceship Earth from that other bag check, and the cast member came flying over and told me I had to delete it because it was considered a secure cast member area, and which I had no idea. It was like the top of a tent in Spaceship Earth was all I got. But they had this whole secondary
that took you a
bag check.
while.
Oh my
we
God,
actually started walking towards the ride.
I was waiting to go through bag check. And like I said, we normally don't have that happen because we are there so early.
Right, which I recommend. Get there very early.
Right.
Our kids were going to whine about being there early for things until they saw the difference it made. And they quickly stopped whining.
So you're going to lose 2 hours of ride time or time in the parks just going through the bag check and going through all,
and waiting in line if you don't get there early.
Right.
So we went over and did Mission Space, and then we ran over and did a Soarin'.
Which was kind of,
Mission Space?
Mission Space, but the first time we saw the new one.
I don't like Mission Space normally. So it was
very underwhelming.
But my daughter said she liked the old one better. I think the old one better was a little more exciting.
Well, they still have that one, but you have to.
No, not the orange one. I mean the Mars, but the green version of Mars.
Oh yeah.
So I have not ridden the orange version. The reason being is my father will ride anything. He is if you can drop him from a rope and he'd do it. I mean, the man we had at our house when I was growing up, we had little railings and they were like maybe an inch wide. I don't think they were an inch wide, and he would stand on those to change the light bulbs on the fan above. I mean, the guy has no fear. He would do headstands on a roof, and that's true. And he even said, he would not ride that again because it was so bad.
Yeah, it was like well, he had just had surgery that
that's
year.
True.
He had a bypass.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been on there anyway.
And it was
like
crushing his chest. And yeah, I won't ride Orange either because I'm like, they're like, if you have high blood pressure or whatever, don't ride. You know.
So he won't ride that. So I know I'm not gonna like it, and I'll ride pretty much anything, but I won't ride that.
It's like claustrophobic, and they're just like pressing.
Well, I'm claustrophobic to begin with. Then you throw that in there.
It has killed people. People have died on that ride.
Yeah, but they had conditions they shouldn't have been on.
Well,
My dad should not have been on that
He should not
ride.
have. He just had open heart surgery like not even a year before.
No, it was about a year before. Yeah, he was not smart. But that's my father. I love him dearly, but you know, he is Daredevil, and that's just the way he is. So we went over to Soarin', and then is that the day we went over to Nemo? It might have been that day we waited. But we already talked about how long we waited.
Yeah.
And then we went to Nine Dragons.
Okay, that made up for all the bad meals we had that week.
Rosencrantz wasn't bad.
Rosencrantz wasn't bad.
It was bad that was Plaza.
Yeah, so that made the taste of the plaza go away.
Nine Dragons is amazing.
It's the first time we've been there.
All
these years, and it's the first time we've been there. Because we never really thought
we have to wait till the kids got a little older too, because sometimes they'll eat things and some things they, you know.
There. And we were just
they
kind
will
of like,
now.
it's Chinese, you know, like we can get Chinese anywhere, but it was really good Chinese, very good Chinese.
Yeah, so
very good service.
Definitely go to Nine Dragons. It's amazing. The service was fantastic.
Yeah, he was.
The building's gorgeous.
Yeah.
The food is.
And we got there before. I mean, there was like nobody there.
You kept getting to the restaurants before it got busy, and we got some beautiful pictures of that. And and the food was just. It was very good.
I would eat there like every day.
Yeah, we should have gone back there last day.
Yeah, we should have.
But it was really good, so I recommend that highly. And then we did things. We walked around the World Showcase. We lapped around there, and then we were going to ride we had to get fast passes in for Spaceship Earth.
We had to get fast pass for Spaceship. Like you don't waste a fast pass on Spaceship Earth or our Journey to Imagination. But you know what?
We waited in line for Imagination. I could have got a fast pass for Imagination too, but we didn't. We waited in line for that. You actually left. At this point, Tom went to go to a special event, which I'll let him tell you about in a minute. Then the kids and I did Imagination, Spaceship Earth, and we went over to Disney Springs, and we hung out there, and we tried Deluxe Burger, which is good. I'm not saying it's not good, but it wasn't as good as I thought it would be, but it was really good. So I recommend doing it. It's at least once.
I thought you guys didn't like that much.
Tristan didn't like it.
Okay.
I thought it wasn't too terrible. I got
People said it was really good.
The Southern Burger that had the fried tomato on it.
Is that like Hollywood's?
And the pimento. Yes, exactly. And it was good. And my daughter's was good, but he didn't like what he got. And
he got the buffalo.
And we were tired. So it wasn't terrible.
Well, she got burgers, deluxe burger.
I know. I recommend it. I totally recommend it. But I've had better things in the parks, so I'm not gonna say it's the best thing ever. But it wasn't terrible. But it was good. I'd try it again.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Your turn.
Have to try. Oh no, it's okay. So I went over to. They had a Toy Story preview event. Mostly for travel agents over at the Contemporary.
You're the only blogger there.
I was the only blogger there. Yeah. So I got in because of our travel sponsor. Got an invite, and they said, hey, you know,
we were there anyway.
Yeah, we were there anyway that week, and they said, you want to go and cover this? And I'm like, yeah, I'll go. So it was. I mean, it was definitely geared toward travel agents. A lot of the information that they had in Toy Story was not new information. It was the same.
But it was cool.
It was cool to see. I mean, they had a lot. They ran the new commercials. They fed us, they gave us some goodies. We got now I'm hoping that they actually have this in the park at Woody's Lunchbox or whatever, but they gave us a Pixar ball shaped dessert. It was actually like a peanut butter cream pie.
And there's also pictures of this on the Kingdom Insider on Facebook.
And nobody else is going to have that because I was the only blogger there.
Well, travel agencies might have given it to their people.
Yeah. But, so, yeah, it was, I mean, they're really excited for Toy Story Land. They're definitely trying to. But, we talked in a previous podcast about, we talked about how Disney is really trying to get people to Disneyland.
And Disney
to cruises. And that was very apparent at this event because they spent most of the time before dinner talking about Disneyland, Adventures by Disney, and the cruise lines and the new ships and all that stuff. And that all was first, and then the Toy Story Land announcement was kind of like...
You were gone a long time.
It was like almost 3 hours.
And it was long. But you said it was really cool because, I mean, they're giving a lot of good reasons and validation of why you should go to Disneyland and why you should go on a cruise. And they had some good points. So...
They did have some good points. And I think part of it, though, is, again, going back to the situation with crowds... I think they're like, if we could take some of these people and put them someplace else.
Well, Tom keeps saying he'd rather go to Disneyland before he go to Magic Kingdom.
I'm gonna go on record saying I've done both recently, and I prefer Disneyland to Magic Kingdom.
If you have little kids and you're not sure which one to go to, he'll tell you to go to Disneyland.
I will tell you to go to Disneyland because if you have little kids, one, Disneyland is not as big, and two, if you stay on, now you have to stay on property. If you stay on property, you can walk everywhere. You do not have
no
to deal with the
buses.
buses.
No buses.
You
Which we haven't
lose-
got to that topic.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other thing. But I never, if you sit there and you calculate all the time that you lose on buses, okay, hours and hours, you probably lose a whole day of riding because you're waiting for buses.
There are other options you could take, like the minivans or
Lyft
things
or
like
Uber or anything
But
like
keep
that.
in mind, Lyft and Uber will drop you off sometimes way far out, or like for
Yeah.
Magic Kingdom Transportation Ticket Center, minivan will take you right to the bus stop.
Right.
So keep that in mind. But yeah, he would recommend Disneyland, and he wants us to go so bad. I want to go so bad now too.
The only advantage, obviously there's some differences because the castle's way smaller and that, but that's
But
the
it makes
original.
up in other ways.
It does. Just some of the attractions out there.
Pirates of the Caribbean is like twice as long.
It's the original version of the ride. That's because the Pirates in Magic Kingdom was not supposed to be there. They actually had another attraction planned for Frontierland. They were going to do a Western River Rapids ride or some kind of a boat ride, and people demanded Pirates of the Caribbean. They expected it to be open because it was out in Disneyland. They didn't have it there, and they're like, okay, we'll put Pirates there. Well, the problem is they didn't have the room for it. Mm-hmm. So the Pirates you're riding in Disney World is a really abbreviated version of the full ride in California. California is the original Pirates. The Pirates you're getting in Florida is basically a knockoff of it, and you're getting like half the ride, which if you've never ridden both, you're going to be like, I don't know what the deal is. But yeah, you're missing a lot of the ride. But then the weird thing is out there, like Haunted Mansion, I think, is shorter. But
you said some of the ride is walk through there. It's
still
there.
Yeah, it's still there, like the
and
library.
the picture gallery. And
the picture gallery and stuff. If for no other reason than just to go because that's Walt's original park. But as far as the crowds go, now the crowds are bad there on weekends and after work hours.
Or holidays and events.
Right. Like I was there a week or two before Christmas and it got kind of busy. But if you stay in the parks, you get like 2 hours to yourselves because not a lot of people actually stay on property at Disneyland. So you're getting 2 hours that you can get on any ride you want to get on.
So Disney, just so you know, your promotion's working because
It is
Tom
working.
Tom would rather go to Disneyland.
I'm actually sold on. I would take Disneyland over Magic Kingdom any day. The only thing the Magic Kingdom has, in my opinion, that is vastly superior to Disneyland is Carousel of Progress. Like I really think Carousel of Progress.
We love Carousel of Progress. A lot of people don't.
Yeah, belongs in Disneyland. It was in Disneyland for years, and then when they opened Magic Kingdom, they moved it.
Hush now! I don't want to take it away from
Well,
Disney
no,
World.
but I'm just saying. But instead, they've got this big round empty building now where it used to be.
Right,
and
but
they
have the launch bay
or
in there
whatever.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, now that Tom's going on about Disneyland,
so
back on
that's-
topic.
Yeah.
So you did your event and that was cool, and he got some cool things to bring home to
Yeah, they gave us a Viewmaster with a bunch of slides and
for
this is all travel
Lonnie
agent stuff.
and for the cruise lines.
Yeah, they're really pushing these other destinations, and I think that something I'd like to talk about more in future podcasts too.
We
is
will.
like, everybody focuses on Disney World, but the thing is that with Disney World being as crowded as it is, maybe try one of the other
Or
destinations.
the Adventures by Disney, where they take you to different places
Yeah.
and you can try different cool things. So keep those in mind. If you're wanting something, you're like kind of parked out and you want to do something Disney that's different. Keep the cruises and Adventures by Disney in mind.
Yeah.
But anyway, now that they got the plug in there, but and if you want to book any of these trips to Disneyland, to Disney World,
MickeyVacations.com, they've got
they do Disneyland, Disney World. They do cruises. They can do Universal, and they can do all the Adventures by Disney cruises. Whatever it is Disney that you want to do, they can get it because they've been doing it for 20 plus years.
22 years.
They're one of the top agencies out there. They can handle it all.
One of the top three.
You want a
in
top
the
three.
world,
So if you want something, go see them because they can get you. If you want to go to a park for a few days and take a cruise, they can hook you up. If you want to do Run Disney, they get whole blocks for it and they can hook you
Which
up.
we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking.
I was going to mention that later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to do anything different and you want to go to the parks and try something else, or you want to try, talk to them. They can tell you what you need to know and get you hooked up. But anyway, back to topic.
So let's go back to
So we're on Wednesday now.
Wednesday. I don't even remember what we did.
Okay, let me think. Wednesday, I know we were at Wednesday was when we went down really early and went to Avatar Land.
Was that because
Or Pandora.
Or was that Thursday? No, it was Wednesday.
It was Wednesday. It was that day. Let's talk about that day. Okay. This trip had a lot of bad things happen.
Yeah, well, we still
had fun.
We got there early, so we were there at Rope Drop for Pandora.
If you can't get fast passes, that's something to consider.
Yeah.
So we thought, okay, we're gonna get there
Because we
early.
couldn't get fast passes. We booked the trip within the 60-day window.
Well, we were a few days past the 60 day. That's what we couldn't. So we went early, which is still insane.
Mm-hmm.
And we were trying to get to, and they let us through because they line you up at the ticket. They line you up at the entryway. They move you to the ticket place. You wait there a little bit. Then they move you over to the bridge of Pandora. And we were on our way to the bridge of Pandora, and it is a wild stampede of craziness.
Yeah.
And our son was literally pushed into our daughter by a woman with a stroller, which I understand people need strollers. I get that. And for those of you who need them, this is not geared at you. I see a lot of people using strollers for children that are too large, that be in a stroller, or they're just using it to carry their stuff.
Right.
This woman, previous to this, used her child as a weapon to knock people out of the way.
Like nunchucks.
My son would watch her do it. Then she ran and literally pushed my son to get out of the way, and to push him out of the way. And when she did, he hit our daughter, and she fell. She cut her leg open, and she smashed her phone.
Yeah. So.
And he broke his glasses. That we just bought for $20.
My son lost his sunglasses. My daughter's screen cracked on her iPhone. All because in this mad rush to ride Flight of Passage. But to be fair, all the bad stuff happened, but we got on. We were like the second group.
So we were smart. We still did it right. My daughter, I felt like a horrible mother because she's crying. I could see.
Dragging her leg.
I could look back, and I checked her first,
Yeah.
and I could see that her leg was scraped, but it wasn't bad, or we would have stopped. If it was bleeding everywhere, we would have stopped.
Yeah.
I could see she was okay. So we just kind of grabbed her and kept going, and I felt horrible. I'm a horrible mother. I feel terrible about it. But we kept going, and we got her to the bridge where I could clean it up and get it bandaged up. It was not bad. It's very little scrape. It's not terrible. The worst, I was more angry with her about a phone because I had just told her prior to give it to her dad and she wouldn't do it, and then it got broken. But we got to the bridge and we got into Flight of Passage very quickly.
Yeah, I think we were the second group.
Yeah, we got in there right away. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all.
It wasn't bad as long as you follow the rules and as long as you're careful and courteous to the people around you and you don't shove anyone. It's fine. So just please, I know you want to get there, and I know it's a mad rush, and you're thinking of yourself. Everybody is. I mean, I understand that. But please just don't knock children into each other and push people out of the way to do it.
Don't use your children like nunchucks.
Don't use your strollers as battering rams. I mean, I get it. There's a lot of people. I understand people do legitimately need them, and I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the ones who misuse it, who use them as battering rams. Who we literally saw a 15 or 16-year-old kid sleeping in a stroller. And our first day at Hollywood, there was a man pushing a stroller with two little kids on each side. Like, we're talking like 3 and 4 on each side. And in the stroller was the mother.
Yeah, I know.
I'm talking about those people. Okay, anyway.
All in all, that day was actually pretty good, though. Because we were there so early, we actually got a lot of riding in.
Yes, we did. We got to do Flight of Passage, which, if you haven't done it, do it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Get there early. A lot of people go late before the park closes. Like, they'll whatever, if you're in line for the ride, they'll have to let you through. So, like, an hour before it closes, go get in line.
Yeah.
So, ride that. We did Navi River after that. And then we walked over and we did. Let me think. What did we do after that?
Well, Tristan and I did. You did.
Oh, I went to Everest with Kyrie. I must have my sister. And you went to Dinosaur.
We rode Dinosaur twice. It was a walk-on.
We went to Everest, and then we met you over there. And then she did the Primeval Whirl. You did the Primeval Whirl, and then we went and rode the Rapids twice. Yeah, which was a bad idea.
Yeah, it was very cold.
It was very cold that day. It was warm every other day. It was hot, and then that one day it was very cold. And I happened to be the person sitting where they dumped like the buckets on your head, and I only rode it once because I was freezing. So we went back to the room, and then we came into Hollywood that night.
Yeah, and that actually wasn't too bad. Is that
Mama Melrose?
Yeah. Okay. So Mama Melrose, very very good.
We did Toy Story Mania first. Yeah. And then we went to Mama Melrose.
Yeah. And so then we got they actually gave us a Fantasmic dining package.
Yeah, we had the Fantasmic package, so we added it on. But Mama Melrose, first of all, oh my gosh.
It was really good.
That is my new favorite restaurant in all of Disney.
Yeah, it was really good.
I can't tell you how good it is. It is so...
And we'd heard we kind of held off on going there because we always heard it's all right. It's like, Olive Garden. It's not great.
No, it's really good.
It was really good. It was, even the drinks were good.
They were good.
Cocktails, and they actually had alcohol in them.
Yeah, because a lot of times you get cocktails at Disney, and I think that they're putting like a little thimbleful, and they're upcharged $10. Yeah. But it was really good. So if you're on the fence about Mama Melrose, just go. It is. I can't tell you how good it is. It's so good.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good night. So we got we ate Mama Melrose. We got the dining package. We went to Fantasmic. We got phenomenal seats for Fantasmic. We were front and center, right down in front.
Yes. And the crowd was the most fun crowd I've ever seen in all of Disney ever. They were doing the wave. They were so into. They had their phones with their lights on. They were doing like they're swinging their phones like a concert. It was just they were the most fun crowd I've ever seen at Disney. They were just great.
And then after Fantasmic, we went. It was obviously the night of nighttime entertainment because we went and we saw the Disney Movie Magic Show. Did not get as good of a view because we had a very, very freakishly tall guy.
There was two.
They were both like 6'5". I swear.
You're tall. You're like 6'3".
Yeah, I'm like 6'3", and I'm like, these guys are taller than I am, and they were, of course they were, standing up, so we couldn't see. But we saw the Disney Movie Magic, and then we saw the Star Wars fireworks, and we actually got on the bus pretty quick.
That's because I'm like, follow me, and I grab. Yeah, they want to get somewhere. They put me in charge. I'm like, we'll get there. And then the last full day we had in the parks was Thursday, and that day we went to Magic Kingdom. It was Magic Kingdom in the morning, and we did Haunted Mansion, and we did that's when I had to pee on Space Mountain happened. Yeah. And then you guys did the cars. What's it called? The Speedway.
Yeah,
and then
Speedway, yep.
Tristan and I got right on to Buzz. Well, we did that while you were doing that. We rode the People Mover too, and then we went over to you went over and did we got Dole Whips, Pound Down Dole Whips, which are amazing. And then you went over and you took Kyrie and you went to the Tiki Room and into the Hall of Presidents.
Yeah, she fell asleep, I think, during the Hall of Presidents.
She told me she did.
But I had to see it because of the controversy, obviously, with them putting Donald Trump in the Hall of Presidents. But it looked really good. They did a really good job with the film.
He said he looked a little weird though.
He looked strange. He looked
he didn't look like himself.
Frog-like. It just, I don't know.
He said a lot of them didn't look.
They don't, because even when they were calling out the names of presidents, and I'm like, that's supposed to be Bill Clinton. That doesn't look like Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
But the film quality was very, very good. It's all in HD, and it looked good. And there were no incidents. There were security officers.
Yes.
There, understandable given that there actually people were on YouTube, having an outburst during the show. But it was actually pretty.
And we saw the American Adventure too with the new cameras.
It looked really good.
And it looked really good.
It
with the new screens and the digital projection, and it was very good.
Yeah.
So while they did that, my son has now a problem. He decided to do Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom, which he's been wanting to do for years, and the kid's addicted.
Yeah.
So he was having a good old time, and him and I went and did that, and then the last day we were there on Friday, Tom and Tristan actually went back to the park because his dad had to get cards just so they can go back in and get more cards. That's another story. So we went over to Epcot again, and then we went and did a couple things we hadn't done yet. We did the Mexico, the 3 Caballeros. Yeah. We did Living with the Land. We did Journey Imagination. We walked around the World Showcase. You got to try some of the food again.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, it's good. I think Food and Wine Festival obviously has better food and wine, but some of the stuff we tried was pretty good.
We tried the frushi, and it was okay.
Yeah.
The fruits were really good. We tried. You guys got the dumplings in China.
Yeah, they were okay. They were in a peanut sauce. It did taste like it was just like peanut butter drizzled over.
Yeah, but it wasn't terrible.
No, it wasn't terrible.
And then you guys tried. You got the key lime tart.
Yeah, which was way smaller this year than last year. Last year they were actually the full size like you get at Sunshine Seasons. Mm-hmm. But this year they were just like a little tiny,
like a long thing.
Yeah, it was like a finger. What do they call them? The lady fingers.
Kind of like the length one. Yeah, it was smaller. Now I will say one place that we went back on. We went to Epcot twice too. Was the place in Germany that does the Werthers.
Yeah.
Caramel something or whatever it's called. But anyway,
caramel gooch or something like that.
But anyway, it's amazing, and I want to mention that right now real quick because our son loves Werther, so to him that was like his new heaven. And they have all kinds of amazing things you can try. Everything's dipped or drizzled or something with Werther's caramel. And it's amazing. So if you haven't tried that, make sure you stop. And they have popcorn you can grab by the bag as a snack credit, and it is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a snack. It's a huge bag.
We brought them back as gifts. Yeah, and people were thrilled. It's so good.
The only downside I could see that is if you're going in summer and it's really hot and some of those caramel would just like it'd be a mess.
It wasn't. It was warm, but not too bad. Yeah. And we took the friendships a couple times back and forth, and then we went. I mean, we went back, and that was the last day actually we did that stuff.
Yeah.
And
it all blurred together. But I mean,
we went to Animal Kingdom that night.
Yeah, we did.
That's right. We went to Animal Kingdom that night, and we did. A few rides we haven't done yet, and we did the safari.
Did not watch Rivers of Light.
No, we did not, but we did get Pandora at night.
One of these days, yeah.
We did Pandora at night. So, I mean, I'm kind of getting the days mixed up now, but it's like, it's kind of all blurring together.
Yeah, anyway, long story short, it was a decent trip. It was just busy. It was way busier than
the last day, you went to Magic Kingdom, and Kyra and I went over to Hollywood because she wanted to watch Little Mermaid.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, Little Mermaid is not. The screens are bad. The audio is not good. The intro, the way they were talking about cameras and photography, you could tell was from like 20 years ago.
No Polaroids allowed.
No
flash bulbs allowed.
Kind of. It was like wow, and I forgot how cringy that thing is. It's cringy.
Anyway, we're gonna wrap this one up.
It's running long.
Yeah, overall,
and our kids have school to do because they're cyber schooled now and they have work to do.
Right. So overall, it was a pretty good trip. It's just I would think twice about going in early March if you can avoid it, just because the crowds are.
Yeah,
so
and
bad.
then please, like I'm telling you, if your person needs a stroller, that's fine. Just remember that there are other people there, not to run them over, not to knock my child down with your stroller.
Right. Be a good Disney guest.
Yes.
Make it magical for everybody else.
Yeah, just in general. I mean, with bus etiquette, with line etiquette, with stroller, and jazzy, the chair etiquette. I mean, and not just that. If you see somebody who's in a jazzy or stroller, and they're clearly trying to get through, and they've been waiting a while, let them through. Yeah. I mean, stop aside and let them through. I mean, it doesn't take more than a second for you to do that. So, I mean, I saw so many people got trapped, and they were getting so upset because there are people that clearly needed them, and they were just like, I can't get through. Yeah. In those cases, let them through, please. Anything else you want to say?
No, I think that's about it. We're gonna wrap this one up. It did run a little long. We apologize. There's a lot to talk about. A lot crammed.
I feel like we just hurried up like blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Well, no, we're going almost an hour now.
So all right, guys. So we will talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. Pirates and Princesses is a production of Clownfish Studios. We are an unofficial Disney podcast, not endorsed or affiliated with the Walt Disney Company. You can visit us on the web at piratesandprincesses.net. That's piratesandprincesses.net. You can shoot us an email at piratespodcast@gmail.com. That's piratespodcast@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for listening and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.